the murmur of the winds, the subtle movements of the trees, and the distant rolling of the river Ganges, on that fateful summer day in 1757, could almost mislead one into thinking this was any other tranquil afternoon. Yet beneath this serene facade an aggressive surge was simmering, one that would not only redefine the boundaries and rulers of Bengal, but also redraw the contours of Indian history itself. The Battle of Plassey wasn't merely a clash of men. It was an epic struggle of fates where every cannon fire whispered of treachery, and every sword slash sang of ambition. Robert Clive, a mere clerk-turned-military commander, stood tall with nervous anticipation, orchestrating what would be either an audacious victory or a disastrous finale to his career in India. Meanwhile, Siraj-ud-Daulah, the youthful Nawab of Bengal, obliviously placed his trust in the hands of fate and deceitful allies. This engagement, modest in its military ensemble and brief in execution, however, was monumental in its impact. It vividly illustrated how a small yet determined European force, under the aegis of the British East India Company, could leverage local disputes to establish dominion in a fragmented subcontinent. The Battle of Plassey, unexpected in its conclusions, not only decided the fate of Bengal but shaped the future trajectory of British India. This engagement, modest in its military ensemble and brief in execution, however, was monumental in its impact. The seeds of the Battle of Plassey were planted well before the actual conflict occurred. It was a time of immense political fragmentation and volatile alliances in India. The Mughal Empire, once a formidable force, was now a fading giant, caught in the throes of internal strife and weakened leadership. This decline set the stage for regional powers like the Marathas, the Sikhs, and various princely states to rise to prominence. Initially arriving for trade, the British gradually ventured into the political arenas, driven by a ruthless pursuit of wealth and dominion. Bengal, rich in resources and strategically located, became the focal point of this ambition. As Bengal thrived under the rule of Ali Vardi Khan, tensions with neighboring powers and within its borders grew, setting the scenario that his grandson Siraj-ud-Daulah would inherit. A scenario ripe for exploitation by the British East India Company. The conflict that would arise at Plassey was not merely military but was steeped in these broader socio-political currents. Young, dynamic, yet notoriously erratic, Siraj-ud-Daulah was thrust into the leadership of Bengal at a critical juncture. He inherited a kingdom encumbered with ambitious courtiers and surrounded by predatory neighbors. His accession was not smooth. It stirred many discontents among his ranks. Prominently among them was his own army chief, Mir Jafar, who eyed the throne with a venomous ambition. The young Nawab, although recognized for his potential for brilliance, was also marked by his susceptibility to manipulation and bouts of rage, traits that would later play a decisive role in his downfall. His preemptive strike against British interests, driven by a justified fear of unchecked imperial ambitions, sparked a series of retaliatory actions that culminated at Plassey. His governance, his challenges, and his youthful naivete colored the events leading up to the battle, painting a picture of a leader who was, perhaps tragically, the right man in the wrong place at the wrong time. His preemptive strike against British interests, driven by a justified fear of unchecked imperial ambitions, sparked a series of retaliatory actions that culminated at Plassey. Robert Clive, known as Clive of India in the pages of British history, began his stint in the subcontinent as a controversial yet undeniably skilled operative of the East India Company. His rise from a clerk to a military commander is a testament to his cunning and military acumen. Clive's strategic brilliance was unconventional yet effective, often teetering on the edges of moral ambiguity. Clive's understanding of Indian political complexities was profound. He adeptly turned local divisions to his advantage, weaving a network of alliances and enmities that ultimately isolated Siraj-ud-Daulah. His role in negotiating with key Bengali figures like Mir Jafar was pivotal, ensuring a divided and thus weakened Bengal at the Battle of Plassey. His leadership style, marked by bold gambits and a fierce determination, set the stage for a new era in India, one where the British were not just traders, but sovereign powers reshaping the very fabric of Indian polity. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Battle of Plassey was the intricate web of diplomacy and betrayal that underpinned the military engagement. Central to this web were figures such as Mir Jafar, the ambitious commander of Siraj-ud-Daulah's army, and Rai-Durlab, a key financier in the court. These individuals, driven by personal gain and assurances from the British, orchestrated one of the most significant betrayals in Indian history. The negotiations between these Bengali elites and the British were cloaked in secrecy and filled with promises of wealth and power. The assurances given to Mir Jafar by Clive were particularly influential, as they convinced him to hold back his troops during the battle, effectively crippling the Nawab's defenses. This betrayal was not just a personal or isolated incident. It was indicative of the larger dynamics of power, loyalty, and ambition that characterized the period. These betrayals had profound implications, not only for the outcome of the battle, but for the moral landscape of the region. They highlighted the vulnerabilities and exploitable divisions within Indian polities, which the British would continue to manipulate in their colonial pursuits. Clive's troops, positioned behind the cover of a mango grove at Plassey, were prepared for a long confrontation, but the battle pivoted on the betrayal of the Nawab's key commanders. June 23, 1757, marked the day of the battle. Despite its historical significance, the Battle of Plassey was relatively small in scale and brief in duration. The British forces, though outnumbered, were better organized and strategically superior. Siraj-ud-Daulah's forces, disoriented by internal dissent and the unexpected withdrawal of critical support, were unable to mount a cohesive fight. The British leveraged their superior firepower and tactical positioning to inflict significant casualties on the Nawab's troops. The turning point came when Mir Jafar's contingent, upon which Siraj heavily relied, withdrew from the battlefield, sealing the fate of the Nawab's regime. The immediate aftermath of the Battle of Plassey was transformational. Siraj-ud-Daulah was captured and later killed, marking an ignominious end to his reign. Mir Jafar was installed as the Nawab of Bengal, essentially becoming a puppet under British control. This shift marked the beginning of formal British dominance in one of India's richest regions, setting a precedent for future conquests across the subcontinent. The long-term implications were even more profound. The victory at Plassey allowed the British East India Company to exert considerable influence over the revenues and administration of Bengal. This economic control provided the resources necessary to expand their military might and further their colonial ambitions in India. Over the next century, the pattern established at Plassey of using local divisions to secure British interests would be replicated throughout India, eventually leading to almost complete control of the subcontinent by the British Empire. The socio-political impact of the Battle of Plassey was far-reaching. In Bengal, the establishment of a puppet regime meant that the British had unprecedented control over the policies and economic resources of the region. This shift had devastating effects on the local economy and society. The traditional structures of governance were disrupted, and a period of political instability and economic exploitation followed, leading to famines and social unrest. Beyond Bengal, the success of the British at Plassey was a clear signal to other Indian states about the rising power of the British East India Company. It altered the balance of power in the region, encouraging other local rulers to either align with the British or brace for potential confrontation. This reconfiguration of alliances and the ensuing political strategies significantly influenced the broader geopolitical landscape of India. The changes initiated at Plassey also had cultural and social ramifications, as British policies and the increasing presence of missionaries and traders brought new ideas and challenged traditional Indian social norms and practices. The Battle of Plassey is not just a historical event. It is a narrative that continues to be revisited and reinterpreted through various lenses: colonial, nationalist, and post-colonial. Historians like William Dalrymple have explored the complexities of the battle, emphasizing the role of internal divisions and betrayals, and critiquing the simplistic portrayal of the battle as a straightforward military victory. In modern India, Plassey is often reflected upon as a cautionary tale about the dangers of disunity and internal discord. It serves as a reminder of how external forces can exploit domestic strife, leading to significant shifts in power and sovereignty. This historical reflection encourages a deeper understanding of India's colonial past and informs its contemporary geopolitical and cultural identity. As we continue to explore and analyze the Battle of Plassey, it remains a crucial chapter in the story of India, offering enduring lessons and insights into the dynamics of power, resistance, and transformation. This exploration of the Battle of Plassey illustrates not only the complexities of a pivotal moment in history, but also how the echoes of this event continue to resonate through the centuries, shaping the trajectory of a nation and its people. If this recount of the Battle of Plassey has ignited your interest in ancient battles, consider subscribing to our channel. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What lessons do you think we can learn from the Battle of Plassey today? Don't forget to like and share this video to help spread the incredible tales of history. This is History Replay This Day.